you want to be successful? Do you want to grow your business? Do you want to dominate the day? Then you're going to need big skip energy. Ashley, welcome back to the Big Skip Energy podcast.
I loved the first time.
Yeah, we thoroughly enjoyed having you the first time, so I'm glad you agreed to come back. Now, for those listeners out there that may have missed it or aren't familiar with you and what you do, go ahead and break that down for us real quick.
Absolutely. So Ashley Yarabinec, I am the Director of Member Relations for the Mortgage Bankers Association. My region kind of spans from the Pacific Northwest all the way to the Midwest and down to Texas. So kind of all over the place, but I go to a lot of conferences and travel to members' visits, and I'm on site. So I absolutely love what I do and love the MBA.
Very good. Yeah, that's quite a swath of territory you've got to cover.
It is. It's good. Yeah. It's like Pacific Northwest all the time. Like I go all the way over to Illinois, so and then obviously all the way down to Texas. No, that's my biggest.
Yeah,
biggest state.
I know that I've gotten to know you over the past couple of years. I really do appreciate the hard work that you put in trying to spread the word about MBA and handle everybody. I'm sure it can be tiring, but I really do appreciate the work that you do.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So the main reason I wanted to have you on again today, Ashley, is to talk about the Mortgage Action Alliance. And for those of y'all that don't know, it is the grassroots effort for advocacy in the mortgage business. And I'm really going to essentially turn this over to you, Ashley, let you talk about MAA, and see if you can break down just what it is, why it's so important, but most importantly, how folks in our industry can get involved, because it's important not just for folks in the mortgage business, but all related fields as well.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, legal advocacy in the most simplest form really enables people to be heard, and engaging in advocacy can have a direct effect on your job and your company as a whole. So this is an area, though, where strength in numbers matters, which is why advocacy is such an important aspect of MBA membership. So the first piece, really, how can you become an advocate for our industry and really make a difference? First and foremost, join MBA's free Grassroots Advocacy Network, which is the Mortgage Action Alliance, as you said, or MAA. You can do this a couple different ways. So you can text MAA MBA to 5047. And this is really a tool that we've created for industry professionals to speak directly with the policymakers at both the federal and state levels when important legislation is up for debate. Having that regular contact with your lawmakers and their staff members through the calls to action that we put out, and I'll touch on what a call to action is really critical to ensure that your elected officials understand how the policy issues affect you, how they affect your customers, and really how they affect the communities you serve. And when a large number of people weigh in on these calls to action, policymakers pay attention. So, for example, a recent call or a past call to action that we did had over 80,000 people take action on the call to action alert that we put out. And when 80,000 people do this, really makes policymakers pay attention and go, oh, this
opens their eyes.
Really, yeah, it makes them go, oh, okay, this should be something I need to be paying attention to. Mm-hmm. So a couple of different ways, you can go to mba.org/takeaction, and you can see a list of all of our active alerts. You can also text alerts to the same number I mentioned before, 50457, and that opts in to do the text notifications from and the alerts that we put out. So, for example, I'm gonna do a plug for one of the most important calls to action that we have active now, and this is one that probably everybody listening is sick of at this point.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
It's the trigger lead use. So we have a call to action right now that is calling for you to support. It is the Haggerty Reid Amendment that would add It's called the Home Buyers Privacy Protection Act to the 2025 National Defense Authorization Act. So really, we've had two bills, Haggerty Reid, it's their amendment that's putting us on to this act. And it's really this bipartisan amendment that would improve the home buying process by curtailing that abusive use of the trigger leads. So please, everybody, it's free. It takes 2 seconds. You go to mba.org/take action, and it's the very top one. You can click on it, and all you do is you put in your personal information. So not your work, not your company's address or company information. It is your personal home address, and that home address then goes to your local administration. And so it goes straight to that. We've drafted the letter for you. Everything on that is completely taken care of. All you're doing is putting your info, hitting send, and that's taking act. So please do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's invaluable for any of these. If you're in the mortgage business, I mean, y'all could not make this simpler.
We really try and take the guesswork out of it. We have a specialized team within MBA, our legislative team, our policy team. They do an incredible job drafting things for you so that it takes all the guesswork out of it, all of the hard work out of it. They do it all and make it as easy as possible.
So you mentioned call to actions. Now, at any given time, how many of these do you typically have active?
Right now we have 3 active on multiple different bills, either bills that are active or what we're trying to push to become a bill. Legislative entities sign on to the bill, whether that's the House or Senate, create a bill, sponsor a bill. That's what we're pushing for in any of these calls to action. So they're all a little bit different and different issues. But right now we have a
Okay. So kind of like you and I talked about before, if there was if somebody says, hey, I really want to start, an effort to get folks involved with the Mortgage Action Alliance, what are some things that they can do, resources that y'all offer to help them start campaigns?
Yeah, well, we actually have our MAA company campaign, which is an entire toolkit that we send to you as a company, and we draft the internal letter you can forward to your team. It tells you exactly what MAA is, how to get involved, why it's so important for you to get involved. So we draft that letter, send it straight to you. We do social posts, so you can do internal social media posts about what MAA is, and then we have it's kind of like a week-long campaign, or however long you like to do it. Like, one email goes out on Monday, and then another email goes out to staff on Wednesday off this webinar. And then that's kind of similar to what we do for like a MAA Action Week with companies that participate. Very similar. So the toolkit we provide you to run your own internal campaign, increase awareness within your company about what MAA is, why it's so important to get involved.
Very good. So Ashley, can you talk just a little bit about how MAA fits into the bigger picture of the MBA and the advocacy effort that y'all, do day in and day out?
Absolutely. So MAA is really that free grassroots advocacy portion of the big picture advocacy initiative we have at MBA. The second piece to that I want to give a voice to as well is MORPAC, and just explain what MORPAC is, because they're very, very different but equally. So MORPAC is our bipartisan political action committee. We have your personal support to MORPAC really provide access needed to help build and strengthen the relationships with the policymakers at the federal level who understand the importance of our industry's role within the nation's economy as a whole. So it really gives a voice to our members and provides a platform for them to share concerns and their issues. It's highly regulated by the Federal Election Commission. Every dollar raised is reported. Personal contributions, $200. You can go and search and see where these contributions have been made. So I highly recommend going to MBA.org/more. It's on our advocacy area. You can see all of the different information about more PAC, what that is. I encourage you to learn more about what it is. It really is one of the best ways you can directly make a positive impact on our industry, very similar to MAA, just in a different way.
Yeah, for sure. And, y'all do a great job making it really transparent, kind of like you said a minute ago about what those funds are used for, why it's so important, and what y'all really do with it. I think trade groups in general do a great job, but MBA does a particularly good job of including membership and letting them know kind of what's going on and what they're working on and what those funds are being used towards. So, all right. So, Ashley, give me one more quick fact about MAA. Now, I'm putting you on the spot here. All right. If you had to pick the most successful Mortgage Action Alliance campaign that you have in recent memory, which one would it be?
Oh no, I knew you were going to ask me this. Let's see. Right at the beginning of COVID, you probably remember the was it the GSE fee that was being put. They came out with it on a Friday. It was like the fee was being put on all loans, and the GSEs came out with it on like a Friday at 5 p.m. saying every single loan moving forward going into effect. And all of a sudden, my legislative team, my policy team did a full rally on the entire weekend together and put out this action that said this is going to cost the industry millions and millions of dollars.
It's going to cost the public millions and millions of dollars.
What you think. We had, I think, 85,000 call actions on that. Woo! We had so many members write in and take action because of that. And this really shows the power behind MAA and the power behind numbers is we were able to then get that delayed until December. So I think this came in December, was supposed to take effect. We got it delayed until December. And within that time frame, then it allowed us to come in and do a full advocacy up on the Hill, say this is not good. It allowed us to reach out to our connections on the Hill, our policy teams, all of these different contacts within the legislative bodies, and that were making this into effect, and ultimately got it reversed and taken out, and it was canceled. So you have a voice. You can be one of the 80,000 or 85,000 calls to action that we can do, and every single voice matters. I mean,
that's right.
Power in numbers.
So one more thing now, do you have to be a member of MBA to be a member of MAA?
No, you do not.
All right.
You do not.
Yeah, that's one of those questions that I already knew the answer to, but I just wanted you to say it, All right, Ashley, is there anything else that the listeners should know about Mortgage Action Alliance before we let you go today?
Not necessarily on MAA specifically, but advocacy. I do want to just let our listeners know about Advocacy Conference. It is, so NAC, it's in Washington, D.C., April 8th and 9th this upcoming year. This is hands down one of my favorite conferences to attend. Our legislative team does an incredible job. Makes it easy by giving you tools, the training, talking points to really let us be lobbyists for the day. We had things with congressmen, with senators last year, and key policymakers to let us in and advocate on behalf of our industry. And it really adds a name and a face and a personal story to complex issues, making them relatable to our members of Congress that really don't have a ton of background or education in our industry. So it's our chance to come in and educate them. So it's the most incredible conference ever. National Advocacy Conference, NAC, Washington, D.C., April 8th and 9th. And then the very last thing, and then I promise I'll be done.
Bring it on, let's have it.
Part of the Mortgage Action Alliance campaign that we're actually running during the month of August is called Advocacy in August. So like National Advocacy Conference, Advocacy in August is an important political engagement strategy for advocating priorities and participating in the meetings really allow you to build and strengthen the existing relationships during the congressional August recess. That's why we have it in August. So it's August 1st through September 1st. And our legislative affairs team states all of these in-person and virtual meetings in the elected officials' home states. If you would like to participate and get involved in advocacy in August, email ma@ma.org to get involved. It's also on our website. You can email me as well.
I love it. I love it. So speaking of getting in touch with you, Ashley, if anybody wants to reach out to you, where should they go?
So they can find me on LinkedIn. All of my contact information, work, my phone number, all of it is on my profile on LinkedIn. And yeah.
Easiest way to get a hold of you, for sure. All right, Ashley. I appreciate you coming on again. Thank you so much for sharing that information with everybody. And hopefully this will bring some more folks, calling to action here.